we spoke a little bit last week more about Di Francesco, and he's made a positive start to the week, but I mean to the season, sorry, in his debut season at the helm there. But 2-0 away to Milan, and they've only lost the one match against Inter, and as I think I mentioned last week, they dominated for a lot of that match. They have a game in hand. They're on 15 points. They are doing very well. But from my point of view, I watch them play. I mean, for me, they don't impress me overly. They don't look like they're playing the best football, but they are getting results, which makes me think, I don't know, Di Francesco is building something here. It's positive and it's happening so quickly, but I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts about Edin Dzeko particularly? For me, I thought when Mohamed Salah had left, he had created so many chances for Dzeko, and he created the most assists for one striker than anyone else in Serie A. So I was really concerned that he wouldn't be able to go on with it, and he's just taken it in his stride. And you know, at times he doesn't even need someone to provide it. He just gets the ball and just shoots, as we saw for their opener on the weekend. He looks like he's playing with a confidence that I don't think I've ever seen him play with. So what do you think about the way Roma's playing in general? Kat, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I know that Di Francesco is doing a great job because Roma didn't let down their guard for all the match. He was always careful, focused. They didn't stop in creating chances. They blocked AC Milan chances as well. And maybe one of the key was also that Pellegrini came in for Strootman, and that helped the midfield a lot. And also Edin Dzeko scoring. Dzeko was crucial again, and the Giallorossi was always disappointing about him, that he was only scoring against the little teams and not in the big games. And he finally made it, and so he's becoming more than fundamental for Di Francesco. And also surprising, he scored his 7th goal of the season in 6 games, and that's a good sign for the team.
About Dzeko, I must say, I reckon this is probably his best form since he was even at Wolfsburg. I remember when they won the German Bundesliga, they had a Brazilian striker there called Grafite, and they formed a great partnership, and Dzeko racked up some pretty high numbers for them. But in the last season with Roma and so far this season, he's just playing with greater confidence. He's much more prolific than what he was when he first arrived in Italy. And what I like about Dzeko is he's not really that much of a statue. Although he's a number 9, for a guy who's over 30, he's still got some decent mobility about him. And in Di Francesco's philosophy, you would usually need someone to be more mobile instead of be that sort of lumberjack or tree trunk centre forward. So it's good that Dzeko is still keeping up those numbers. Although Di Francesco probably hasn't really brought out his true philosophy yet, or the players haven't really implemented that style clearly, they're still getting the wins, they're still scoring goals. And Di Francesco is also getting squad rotations right too, because he's managed to fit in Bruno Perez and Alessandro Florenzi both on the right side. He's given Lorenzo Pellegrini some game time. So in terms of squad choices, he's getting that right. Another thing I also mention is that Alisson is playing well in goal, and usually I'm not really impressed with Roma's goalkeepers, especially in the time that I've been watching Serie A, but based on what I've seen of him so far, he's a very good shot stopper and he has top reflexes.
As you said, Vito, it looks like the formation they're playing, and they have a lot of depth, which is good, and we haven't necessarily seen that from Roma in recent seasons. So there's a lot to be excited. Obviously, Florenzi is back, and I'm very excited about that because I personally like him as an individual. But guys, where do Roma rate now? Like a lot of, the community, let's say, has talked up Milan so much in the preseason, and I guess rightly so. When you spend that kind of money, you need to deliver in some way. But not Lazio, I'm jumping the gun. Roma, they're going about their business relatively quietly, and as I said, they have a game in hand. They're on 15 points to Milan's 12 points, and they have a game in hand. So where do you rank them compared to the likes of a Milan or even an Inter? Are they, I think we kind of touched on it last week, but should we still be considering them as one of the favorites for the top three? Or do you think the likes of an Inter or Milan or even a Lazio are down the line on the long term gonna beat them out? Kat, we'll go to you and then Vito.
Yeah, no. I will think they could fight for a Champions League spot this year. And Di Francesco is doing a great work, and this quick time. I said last week that I didn't expect this start from Roma. I was so surprised about his work, and he has a good chances also to do a good rotation with all the players, and yeah, he could fight for a Champions League spot as well as Lazio probably this year.
Vito, what do you think? AC Milan or Roma? Who deserves to be the favorite at the moment for a top three, let's say?
At the moment, you definitely have to say Roma. The game in hand helps, but Di Francesco is doing a much better job with the players at his disposal as opposed to Montella, who is still trying to find his way. And also, I think with his style of coaching, Montella still needs to sort a few things out, whereas Di Francesco is probably getting his ideas through clearer than what the Milan coach has. So, as I've said in the previous podcast, I still think the best is yet to come with the Giallorossi. The Scudetto might be too much out of their way. I don't think it's realistic for them, but another year of Champions League action, I think it's very probable.